Hello guys, welcome to the Flask channel, and today we're going to be discussing operators and control structures. So let's start off with comparison operators. So the first one is less than or equal to, not equal, not equal, just the variation, they're both the same, greater than, greater than or equal to. Okay, pretty easy, just like in any other language. Next is logical operators. So we have our OR operator, double pipe, our ampersand operator, which is the AND operator. So it's a double ampersand. All right, so very easy and very easy to remember. All right, next up, we're going to be discussing control structures. So for Apex, we do have 7 if-else statement, if-else-if statements, switch, while loops, do while loops, traditional for loop, so the JavaScript like for loop or Java or Python or PHP, and then iteration for loops. So the structure is just like for each in other languages. Okay, so yeah, without further ado, let's discuss first the if else statement. So it's pretty basic. You have your condition and your if else. So let's just copy and run this so it's super understandable. Okay, so there you have it. So based on the condition, it will give us gray. So execute, debug only. All right, there you have it. Excuse me. Throat is itchy. I'm only human. Sorry, apologize. All right, so there you have the code. And then let's go down to the next one, the variation, which is the if-else statement. So the only difference is that you'll have multiple conditions, and you can extend to several conditions. So you're not limited to only 3. You can actually extend it, okay? So let's just do a sample code here and just run it. Okay. Color is unknown because it's blue and we only target check red or gray rather, and then red. All right, that's an example of the if-else statement. So let me just try to clean this one up first. Make room. All right, so let's hop into the next one, which is the switch statements. So this is fairly similar to other languages. So this is the variable that we will be testing depending upon the contents of this particular variable. This one statements here or block will be executed. In this case, since none of them equates to gray, then color is unknown will be displayed. All right, let's just copy this guy right here. Probably extend the window a bit. All right, looks good. Execute. And then debug only. And there you have it. Let's take a look at the code once more. Excuse me. All right. So there you have the switch statement, but there's a variation. Only difference is if you have multiple values in one when block, this is a when block. Here, then you could do so. So let me give you an example. So here it is. And of course, let's just run it as per our tradition. Make sure everything works. Execute. Okay. And debug only. So there you have it. Okay, taking a look at the code once more. If you want to pause and try it yourself, the better, so you'll learn a lot faster. All right, so let's jump to the next one. Just go down to loops. All right, so yeah, this is the while loop. So it's just pretty much the same with other languages. Let's just run it. There's a condition. You can use the plus and minus for your iteration. Okay, so it's very common, easy to learn, but we will run it. Okay, debug only, and there's your loop. So let me just try to clean this one up. Okay, that's the code once more. Then let's just do a cleanup, go back. All right, so the next lesson would be our do while loops. It is just the variation of the while loop. Okay. And then execute. So, well, um, the condition is at the bottom, basically. All right, debug only. There you have it. So let's take a look at the code once more. Okay. All right, our next lesson is what we call the traditional loop for loop. So everyone's familiar with this one. So it's super easy. Have your initialization variable, condition, then iteration. Okay, let me just try to run this one. Execute, debug only, and there you have it. They run the same. And lastly, the for each, what we call the iteration for loops for Apex. So this one is the same as with other language for the for each loop. So you do have your variable name here, and then your variable to which you will, or your collections rather. So it can be a string, list of string or whatever, sets or maps. Maps have a slightly different variation, but you can still use this pattern or this particular loop. So let's just try to understand this. So T's has this list of strings here, which are tea, black tea, green tea, herbal, blah, blah, blah. And then the loop will iterate to each one passed in T. So the type must be the same or else you'll get an error. And then just simply display them. So let's just try to run it and check it out. Go here, here, and then, all right, that's the rest of the code. Or you can do this so the guys can view it. All right, if you want to pause the video and try it, type it, you can at least see it. Okay, now let's run it. And then debug only. So there you have it. Let's take a look at the code once more. Okay, so there's your simple rundown on the operators and control structures. Hope you liked the video and learned something about it. Please do like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, have a nice day. Bye-bye. Take care.